Good morning! Let's start this beautiful, cold day with another episode of Conspiracy Theories with the Gecko. Today we're going to talk about 9/11. September 11th, 2001. Terrorists attacked against the United States. A wave of conspiracy theories swept the nation. The destruction of the Twin Towers in New York City was an inside job, they claimed. The work of the federal government filled the internet with supposed truth of the vast conspiracy. It is obvious and irrefutable that other explosives, such as concussion bombs, had already been detonated in the lower levels of the tower, one at the same time the plane crashed.
It appears that there is more and more fire and smoke enveloping the very top of the building, and as fire crews are descending on this area, it does not appear that there's any kind of an effort up there yet. Now remember, oh my God.
Oh my God.
That looks like a second plane.
I did not see a plane go in. That just exploded.
We just saw another plane coming in from the side.
The NSIT's investigation revealed that the plane's debris sliced through the utility shafts at the North Tower's core, creating a conductant for burning jet fuel and fiery destruction in the building. It's very hard to document where the fuel went, says Foreman Williams, a NSIT advisor and a combustion expert. Burning fuel traveled down the elevator shafts would have disrupted the elevator system and caused extreme damages to the lobbies. NSITs held first-person testimonies that some elevators slammed right down to the ground floor. The doors cracked open and the lobbies floored with flames. And people died, says James, an engineer professor at the University of Maryland and an NSIT advisor.
There was so much dust and the street signs were hard to see.
We have been lied to, announces the website attackonamericans.net. The first lie was that the load of fuel from the aircraft was caused by structural failure. Jet fuel burns at 800 to 1500 degrees Fahrenheit, not hot enough to melt steel. Steel melts at 2750 degrees Fahrenheit. However, experts agree that for the towers to collapse, their steel frames didn't need to melt. They just had to lose some of their structural strength, and that required exposure to much less heat. I've never seen steel in a building fire, says retired New York Deputy Fire Chief Vincent Dunn, author of The Collapse of the Burning Building, a guide to fireground safety. But I've seen a lot of twisted, warped, bent, and sagging steel. Who says there was some explosive devices inside the building that caused the towers to collapse? The article continues, Roman said the collapse of the structure resembled those of a controlled implosion used to demolish old structures.
3, 2, 1, fire.
But September 11, 2001 will go down in American history as one of the worst days in American history. Nearly 3,000 people lost their lives that day on American soil. Now let's discuss the third plane. The Pentagon headquarters for the Defense Department was attacked the same day. American Airlines Flight 77 flew into the west wall of the building's first floor, setting off a chain of events that killed 125 people inside, most of whom were Army and Navy service members and employees, along with the 64 people on board the Boeing 757.
David. Plane down. 14th Bridge area. 101 Dodge, we saw it go down. Engine 101 saw it go down. 105 is on the scene. I have a plan.
51 minutes after the first Trade Center was attacked, the Pentagon was attacked. Though dozens of witnesses saw a Boeing 757 hit the building, conspiracy advocates insist there is evidence that a missile or a different type of plane smashed into the Pentagon. 2 holes were visible in the Pentagon immediately after the attack. A 75-foot wide entry hole in the building's exterior wall and a 16-foot wide hole in the ring C. The Pentagon's middle ring conspiracy theorists claim both holes are far too small to have made by a Boeing 757. How does a plane 125 feet wide and 155 feet long fit into a hole which is only 16 feet across? Some windows near the impact area did indeed survive the crash, but that's what the windows were supposed to do. They're blast resistant. A blast resistant window must be designed to reinforce a significantly higher than a hurricane that's hitting a Category 5. Conspiracy theorists insist there was no plane wreckage at the Pentagon. In reality, a Boeing 757 was never found. Claims what hit the Pentagon on 9/11. Blast expert Alan E. Killishamere was the first structural engineer to arrive at the Pentagon after the crash and help coordinate the emergency response. It was absolutely a plane, and I'll tell you why. I saw the marks on the plane's wings on the face of the building. I picked up parts of the plane with the airline markings of them. I held in my hand the tail section of the plane and found the black box. Kishimere's eyewitness account is backed up by photos of plane wreckage inside and outside the building. Kishimere adds, I held part of the uniform from the crew's members in my hand, including body parts. Now let's talk about the 4th plane of September 11th, the one that never made it to its destination. The man who planned and carried out September 11th suicide hijacking stalked out the White House before deciding that their targets should be the Pentagon, the World Trade Center, and the U.S. Capitol, where the 4th plane was heading when it crashed into a field in Pennsylvania, according to the interviewers. Now I want to give you my opinion on this. I feel it was an inside job. I feel it was to put fear into Americans, because how can you get Americans behind the government if there's nothing to do? If you strike fear in them, they will support you, which gave them all reason to go to Iraq and Iran. And go to find out, it's all about oil. Hey everybody, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked it, hit a like. If you disliked it, dislike it. If you want to see more, subscribe. Hit the bell notification. I'm going to be posting videos daily. They're going to get a little better. Practice makes perfect. But stick it out with me, and I promise you, I will deliver. Thank you guys for enjoying the Random Gecko, and I hope y'all have a great night.